did something I never thought I was going to do before, and that's getting rid of my 24-70 G Master. Now, I know this is the mecca of all lenses, but I actually want to show you a lens that I think hasn't got enough love, and I think is the best fit for a lot of people out there. And that's the 24-50 2.8 G lens by Sony. I'll be the first to admit it. Over the last couple of years, I've really gotten into the craze of paring down my kit to pieces that actually fit my shooting style and help me tell the stories I want to tell. The 24-70 was my go-to lens for all of that. I used it for freelance projects, for my 9-to-5, on a gimbal, whatever situation called for it, I would mainly default to that lens. The thing that made me switch was the 1.8. It was super small, it was super compact, and when I put it on the Fx3, the camera felt great. It didn't feel bulky, it felt amazing, and I was still getting a great image for a cheaper price, a smaller lens, and I felt less in the way with the camera. I really lean into the mentality of being a fly on the wall and documenting the process and the events happening in front of the camera. When you have bigger lenses, you have bigger setups, you can unintentionally create attention to yourself. You can therefore distract and impact what's happening in front of you. Now, a lot of that to say is, especially on bigger budget productions and sets that call for it, better gear is better gear. And a lens like this might not cut it if you're shooting a commercial for a big company. I think I can answer a lot of questions and a lot of concerns of what people are afraid of for switching to this lens. Now, I think the big elephant in the room for this lens is it's not a 24-70, it's a 24-50. You're losing 20 millimeters of focus. And how I will counter that doesn't really matter. If you're shooting on Sony and you already have internal clear image zoom turned on, you can get that 70 millimeter focal length, albeit if you did it on the 24-70, that 70 would be times by 1.5 and it'd be a 105. That's still to say that the 24-50 can still get that 24-70 range. A lot of the stuff I'm shooting, the focal length I tend to shoot on with the 24-70 that I loved was the 35, the 24, and the 50 area of focal range. I haven't actually felt like I needed 70 millimeters whenever I go out or shoot. I recently took this on a trip, and the shots I got from this at the Suspension Bridge Park were incredible. I felt like I was able to capture everything I really wanted, all the details, and my back wasn't hurting after a long day, nor did I feel like I had a giant camera and I was sticking out like a sore thumb. Another understated part about having a smaller lens, which a lot of the push nowadays is creating these unique and interesting shots from different varied viewpoints, rigging a camera in a top-down situation, or putting it on a car or on the back window of your car, or rigging it to a bike. And a heavier lens will require more support, when a lighter lens like this allows for easier rigging and more creative shots because the camera isn't a too heavy weight and you can attach it with a magic arm. Okay, I've been editing this video and I've realized I forgot to mention one key thing and feature that I actually really like about this lens, and that's the aperture ring. Now, on the G Master Mark I, there was no aperture ring, so you had to control everything internal in the camera, which really isn't that big of a deal, but it is really nice to have that aperture ring so then you're not accidentally touching a dial and adjusting your exposure while you're shooting a video. And being able to have that constant aperture and adjust it on the fly, I think is super nice. Plus the tactility of everything. I think Sony's shift of having more aperture rings across all their lenses has helped, make their lenses feel a lot more robust in the grand scheme of things. But back to the rest of the video. The autofocus is actually really quite good, exactly how I want it to be. This is not my lens I'm using when I'm shooting sports, mainly because that's not what it's built for. This is for the everyday content creator, someone who wants that versatility of a 24-70, but doesn't want to have a big bulky lens that makes them stand out in the middle of a crowded street or while they're walking around with their camera in their hand. For all intents purposes, I think this lens is a great everyday lens. The shots that come out of it are amazing. It's light, it's small, it's compact. You can fit it in a big hoodie pocket along with the Fx3. In reality, it's a lens that you are always gonna take rather than contemplate taking something else. I've been talking about the weight a lot, and I get it. At some points, it really doesn't matter. If you're gonna go do a professional shoot, you should bring the gear that gets you the best possible shot. But for me, I'd rather have a piece of gear that I'm always willing to throw in my bag because of its weight than something that I might chop off the black because it's a little bit too heavy and I have a lot of other options out there. I think its small and compact size really add to the versatility despite losing some focal length on the end. Without further ado, leave a comment down below if you like this video. If you want to see more, please subscribe. It really helps me motivate it. Now that I'm actually in the off season for my job, the workload has actually gone down a little bit more, and as we're prepping for the next season, so hopefully I have a little bit more time to make some of these videos. I'm excited to try some new things in this coming year. So thank you guys for the support on all my videos previously, and it really means the world to me. So peace.